In case you don't know, this is day 7 of 30 teams in 30 days, NBA edition. Let's spin the wheel to see who we're talking about today. Who could it be? Who could it be? Who could it be? The Wizards, maybe? Yes, it's going to be the Wizards. This is our first non-contending team that we've talked about. Go check out the other videos if you haven't already. In case you missed it, also, yesterday I did a Mavericks video, and obviously that was I recorded that before Kyrie Irving got ruled out for the year, so a lot of that stuff is maybe irrelevant now. So maybe I'll do a Mavericks video at the end talking about them. But the Wizards, let's get into the Wizards. The Wizards are a team where I'm not going to talk much about the season because they're really really bad, and because of that, I'll do a slight recap. But the main thing I'm going to be focusing on is the future and what can I do with what can I do. What can the Wizards do with their future, knowing the fact that they are not a contending team at all this year and probably won't be for a few years? So, what can they do to speed up that process? This season alone, the Wizards, I believe, are 11-49. And you look at this roster, that makes sense. Right now, they are not supposed to be a good team based on the way that they're built. They have Bilal Coulibaly, who I really, really like still. He had a good rookie season. He's had a fine season this year. It's hard to be noted when you, are on a horrible team. It's hard to be noted as a young guy. Same thing with Alex Sarr. I like Alex Sarr still. Bob Carrington, I haven't seen enough of. But basically, what I'm saying is this team has a lot of young pieces that they are really, really hopeful in developing. They got Chris Middleton and Marcus Smart at the trade deadline. Nothing's going to happen with them. We all know that nothing's going to happen with them on this team. They'll probably end up somewhere else next season or even this offseason for all we know. But they have a bunch of bright young stars spots on this team, and I think that is something that Wizards fans should be happy about. And obviously, they're going to be in the running for Cooper Flag. We all know that. But if they don't end up with a Cooper Flag, you can have a guy like Dylan Harper, you can have a guy like Ace Bailey, which I don't know too much about, but I know that they're good. I've only ever really seen. I don't really focus on the draft until the draft is a couple weeks away. Um, but I do know that they will be in the running for one of the best college prospects that we've seen in a long time. And obviously, it would be a given if they added a guy like Cooper Flag, like they'd have people who would actually want to watch them. To a top college, which that's a whole nother story, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But obviously, that would make them a fun team to watch. It would make them a team that is watchable, I guess. But outside of that, like if they don't get a guy like Cooper Flag, they might be in this realm of not good for 5, 10 years. And I mean that. And I mean that genuinely because right now they don't have a direction. And that's the issue with tanking. And I don't think teams actually truly tank. I just think a lot of the owners look to the future and see guys and they're like, I mean, it would be nice if we got that, but with the lottery system in the NBA, it's not guaranteed. So there's still like teams are still at least kind of trying. This team is just really, really bad. But as I was saying, the problem the that comes with tanking is the fact that, like I said, the Cooper Flag's not a guaranteed. And if some other team ends up as the number one pick and drafts him, and let's say you drop to 5 or 6, all of a sudden your direction stays the same. You're not getting a guy that is a complete game changer like a Cooper Flag would be. And on top of all that, the Wizards are a small market team. So they're not going to just get guys randomly that come to them. They have to strategically build a team. And if they're not able to do that quickly, they're not going to have fans in a while. And I'm not saying that like Wizards fans out there, like you, you guys are awesome. The fact that you have stuck with them for as long as they've, since, before John Wall and all those days. I'm not trying to like throw shots at you guys. I mean, you guys know the pain. Like watching this team is not fun. I'm sure a lot of you don't really care about watching every single game like a lot of other fans do. But here's where things start to take a turn. In case you missed it, again, in the college basketball world, Duke played their last home game of the season. And most of the time, what college players do is top college players, they play one season at a top college. They already have momentum going into the NBA, and so they take that opportunity to immediately jump on board and get the money that they would want in the NBA and get because they already have the fame, so and they don't want to risk injury. Cooper Flag announced that, or I guess not Cooper Flag. Duke fans have hinted at the fact that they want Cooper Flag back one more year, but that's not the issue. The issue is that Cooper Flag has publicly said that he does not know what he's going to do. And that could be a whole thing. That could be a way of trying to manipulate teams to not tank as hard, but it could also be true. For all we know, Cooper Flag could truly be considering going back to Duke for one more season because he doesn't want to play for the Wizards or the Hornets or all of the Jazz, the bottom level teams in the NBA. He would want to play for a better team. Now, I think there's other ways around this, and I if it were my guess, I think he's bluffing. But this is a really big deal, especially if you're a Wizards fan or if you're a Hornets fan or if you're a fan of any team that is a small market rebuilding team right now. That's not a good sign because already you're seeing college players who are saying, I don't want to play for that team. I don't want to play for that team. I don't want to play for that team. That's bad for the NBA, in my opinion. That's bad for basketball. That's bad for small market teams. That's just a bad look in general. And I question this approach if Cooper Flag is being truly honest. On a side note, I'm really excited for Cooper Flag to play in March Madness. That's going to be a lot of fun. But enough with the Cooper Flag stuff. This is not a Cooper Flag video. This is a Washington Wizards video. So what do I like about the Wizards? Although their record stinks, I think they have a lot of bright spots. Jordan Poole, who is their leading scorer this year, has been playing really, really well. And not that he's going to be he should be a number one option for the rest of his career, but more about the fact that he's playing well. And I think alongside some good talented players, if they end up getting some, he would be a solid fit. Yeah, he's expensive, but we literally saw him with the Warriors when you put other guys around Jordan Poole. Obviously, he's not the main guy, and I'm not saying that Jordan Poole is going to be the 1A to a championship team. I'm not. But he could be a 3, he could be a 4 option for a championship team. Again, not saying the Wizards are going to win a championship this year or next year or soon or even with Jordan Poole. But in theory, because Jordan Poole is young, they have a bright spot in him. But the other bright spots are the young guys, and I've hinted at them already. Alex Sarr, who they drafted this year, Kaishan George, who they drafted this year, Bilal Coulibaly, that they drafted last year, I believe, Bob Carrington, who they drafted this year. They have a lot of pieces. They have a lot of guys, a lot of young pieces, and I think those pieces will start to flourish once they start working together and once they start growing and learning from all these losses that they have this year. They're gonna become mature. They're gonna understand how to lose. They're gonna understand, and that's not a good thing, but like they're gonna understand how to lose in a way that motivates them to want to win more and to the point where once they start winning, it becomes addictive. So to recap, yes, the Wizards stink. Yes, maybe they're going for tanking to see if they can go get a big time draft choice this season. Yes, they are not going to be good for another few years, regardless of who they end up picking up. But they have a lot of bright spots. They have young players. They have a lot of young players who are showing that they can play in this league and showing that they belong. And this losing is going to hurt Wizards fans for a very long time, but it might be worth it in the end. If they're able to lock up their guys and make sure that they have the right guys to build around, um, to just make a perfect team around, I think the Wizards have a shot. I really do. I really think the Wizards have a brighter future, not necessarily a perfectly linear future, but I think they have a lot of options. I think they have a lot of possibilities and a lot of ways that this could go in a positive direction. So I'll end with that. Um, Subscribe if you're new. This is day 7, I believe. I think. I don't really know. Yeah, go check out the other videos. There's a playlist for these. But yeah,